Step into the swirling sands of time with me as we journey back to ancient Egypt, to a world of pyramids, pharaohs, and power. But we're not just visiting any era. We're here to meet one of history's most iconic figures, a woman whose name still echoes through the millennia, Cleopatra. Forget the Hollywood caricatures and the whispered legends for a moment. Who was the real Cleopatra? What was the true story of the last pharaoh of Egypt? Join me as we unveil the woman behind the myth. Cleopatra VII Philopator was born in 69 BC into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek royal family that had ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Despite ruling Egypt, Cleopatra and her family were not ethnically Egyptian. They were descendants of Ptolemy I Soter, one of Alexander the Great's most trusted generals. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Cleopatra was a product of two worlds, a Greek queen ruling over an ancient Egyptian kingdom. From a young age, Cleopatra was immersed in a world of cutthroat politics. The Ptolemaic court was notorious for its family rivalries, and survival meant being smarter, more ruthless, and more charming than everyone else. And Cleopatra was all of that and more. She was incredibly intelligent, reportedly fluent in as many as 9 languages, including Egyptian, Greek, and Latin. This was a game changer. Unlike her predecessors, who clung to their Greek roots, Cleopatra made a conscious effort to connect with her Egyptian subjects. She was the first Ptolemaic ruler to actually learn the Egyptian language. Imagine the impact of a queen who could speak directly to her people, who participated in their religious ceremonies and presented herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis. She wasn't just a foreign ruler, she was their pharaoh. Her reign began when she was just 18, co-ruling with her much younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. But sharing power wasn't really in Cleopatra's vocabulary. The court was divided, and soon, Cleopatra found herself exiled, pushed out of her own kingdom. But if you think that was the end of her story, you don't know Cleopatra. This is where her legendary ambition truly ignites. She needed an ally, someone powerful enough to help her reclaim her throne. And as fate would have it, the most powerful man in the world just happened to be sailing into Egypt, Julius Caesar. The story of their first meeting is the stuff of legend. Smuggled past her brother's guards, Cleopatra allegedly had herself rolled up in a carpet and delivered directly to Caesar's private quarters. Can you picture the scene? A powerful Roman general, caught completely off guard as this brilliant, determined young queen emerges. It was a bold, theatrical move, and it worked. Caesar was captivated, not just by her beauty, but by her intellect, her charisma, and her sheer audacity. He saw in her a capable and strategic ally. With Caesar's military backing, Cleopatra defeated her brother's forces and was reinstated as the undisputed queen of Egypt. But their relationship was more than just a political alliance. It blossomed into a famous romance, and together they had a son, Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. For Cleopatra, this was a masterstroke. Her son was not just the heir to Egypt, but also the potential heir to the vast Roman Republic. She traveled to Rome, living as Caesar's guest, a dazzling and controversial figure in the heart of Roman society. She was a queen, a diplomat, and a mother, playing a high-stakes game for the future of her kingdom and her dynasty. For a moment, it seemed like her dream of a powerful Greco-Roman empire, ruled from Alexandria, was within reach. Then, disaster struck. The Ides of March, 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated on the floor of the Roman Senate, and Cleopatra's world was thrown into chaos. Her Roman protector was gone, and her position was once again precarious. She fled back to Egypt, her dreams shattered, to protect her son and her kingdom from the ensuing civil war that engulfed Rome. The Republic was torn apart as Caesar's allies fought his assassins for control. Out of this chaos, 2 men emerged victorious: Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, and his loyal general, Mark Antony. And it is with Mark Antony that the second, and perhaps most famous, chapter of Cleopatra's life begins. Antony, now in control of Rome's eastern provinces, summoned the Queen of Egypt to Tarsus to answer for her loyalties. But Cleopatra was no mere vassal. She knew the power of spectacle. She arrived not as a supplicant, but as a goddess. She sailed up the river Kidnus, on a magnificent golden barge with purple sails and silver oars, dressed as Venus, the Roman goddess of love. The air was filled with perfume, and she was surrounded by attendants, dressed as cupids. Antony, who saw himself as the embodiment of the god Dionysus, was completely enchanted. Like her relationship with Caesar, her bond with Antony was a potent mix of personal passion and political strategy. They became lovers and powerful allies. Antony needed Egypt's immense wealth to fund his armies, and Cleopatra needed Antony's military might to protect her kingdom and secure her son's future. They had 3 children together, and for years, they ruled the eastern Mediterranean from Alexandria, a city that rivaled Rome in its splendor and culture. They envisioned a new world order, an Eastern empire with Alexandria as its capital and their children as its rulers. This was a direct challenge to Octavian in Rome, who saw Antony's Eastern decadence and his devotion to a foreign queen as a betrayal of Roman values. Octavian, a master of propaganda, launched a vicious campaign against Cleopatra. He painted her as a dangerous seductress, a foreign sorceress who had bewitched a noble Roman general and sought to conquer Rome itself. He stripped away her humanity and turned her into a symbol of everything Rome feared, a powerful, independent woman from a foreign land. The stage was set for a final, epic confrontation. The fate of the world would be decided in a naval battle off the coast of Greece, at a place called Actium. The Battle of Actium in 31 BC was a disaster for Antony and Cleopatra. Their larger, heavier ships were outmaneuvered by Octavian's lighter, more agile fleet. Accounts differ, but at a critical moment, Cleopatra's squadron pulled away from the battle. Antony, seeing her leave, abandoned his own flagship and followed her. Whether it was a pre-planned retreat or a moment of panic, the result was the same. Their forces were shattered, and their soldiers and allies deserted them. The dream of their Eastern Empire was over. They returned to Egypt, defeated and cornered. Octavian's legions advanced on Alexandria. Antony, hearing a false report that Cleopatra had taken her own life, fell on his sword. He was brought to Cleopatra's mausoleum, where he died in her arms. Left alone, with her kingdom lost and her lover dead, Cleopatra knew her fate. Octavian intended to parade her through the streets of Rome in chains, a living trophy of his victory. But Cleopatra would never allow herself to be humiliated. She was a queen, a pharaoh, the daughter of a long line of kings. Her final act was one of ultimate defiance. The popular story, immortalized by Shakespeare and Hollywood, is that she died from the bite of an asp, a venomous snake, smuggled to her in a basket of figs. It was a death fit for a pharaoh, a sacred symbol of Egyptian royalty. While historians still debate the exact method, the outcome is certain. Cleopatra took her own life, choosing her own end rather than submitting to her enemy. With her death, the Ptolemaic dynasty ended, and Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. The age of the pharaohs was over. So, what is Cleopatra's true legacy? Was she the manipulative seductress of Roman propaganda? Or was she a brilliant and capable ruler who did whatever it took to protect her people and her kingdom in a world dominated by men and Roman expansion? The truth is, she was both, and so much more. She was a scholar, a diplomat, a naval commander, and a mother. She used every tool at her disposal: her intelligence, her charm, her wealth, and yes, her relationships with powerful men, a desperate gamble to preserve Egyptian independence. For over 20 years, she matched wits with the greatest men of her age and nearly succeeded in forging a new empire. She was the last pharaoh, the final flicker of a civilization that had lasted for 3,000 years. Her story is a timeless tale of power, love, and ambition, a testament to a woman who dared to challenge the Roman world and shape her own destiny. She may have lost her kingdom, but she won a kind of immortality. 2,000 years later, we are still telling her story. The myth of Cleopatra is powerful, but the reality of the woman is far more fascinating. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history's most compelling figures. See you next time.